Hello, this is Raja from Charge Your Games and welcome back to another new video. So in this video, we're gonna learn about C# scripting in Unity in just 10 to 15 minutes. So this is gonna be fun. Let's do this. Alright, so I'm gonna go really fast because we have to cover a lot of things in this short time. So let's do this. So here I have a 3D project opened and I have a cube right here and we're gonna do all our experiments on this cube only. So here I have a scripts folder. Inside that I'm going to right click and create a new C# script. I'm going to simply name this one test. Then I'm going to go ahead and select my cube and drag and drop the test script on the cube. Then double click to open it in Visual Studio. So here our script has been opened. So first things first, we have these two functions created by default, the start function and the update function. The start function gets called at the start of the game when the game starts, and the update function gets called again and again and again every single frame. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to learn to destroy the object. So in order to destroy the object, we have a function called destroy that you can call from anywhere. So we're going to call it from the start. So we're going to write destroy. And what are you going to destroy? We're going to destroy this game object with which the script is attached. So we're going to write game object exactly like this, not in capitals, game object in small capital like this. So now if we are calling it from the start, so it should get destroyed as soon as the game starts. So if I save the script and go back to Unity, now let's click on play, and when the game starts, as you can see, the cube got destroyed. Alright, so our destroy function is working. So let's open the script again. Now we're going to learn to destroy it after a few seconds. So to do that, we're going to write a comma and give the amount of time we want to destroy it after. So let's say we want to destroy after 3 seconds. So we're going to write 3, F. And if you want to say float, you need to write F. So we're going to destroy it after 3 seconds. So in Unity, we're going to play and then wait for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, boom. And as you can see, in 3 seconds, it gets destroyed. So the code is working. All right. So our destroy code is working. Now let's learn how we can destroy it by clicking on it. To do that, here we're going to create a new function. We're going to name it void on mouse down. Alright, so this function gets called when we click on the object with our mouse. Alright, so here what you're going to do is we're going to comment this out by writing this double slash. That means this code is not working anymore. And we're going to simply copy this, paste it here, and remove the 3F from here. So now, whenever we will click our mouse on the object or the cube, it should get destroyed. So let's save the script by pressing Ctrl S. And here, let me go ahead and click on play. Now let me click on it. And as you can see, as soon as I click on it, the cube gets destroyed. Click and it gets destroyed. So our mouse click is working. Alright, so now let's learn how we can do that by using our keyboard inputs. So in order to use keyboard inputs, first of all, let's learn how to take keyboard inputs. To take keyboard inputs, we need to use the input class. Okay, and so we're going to say if input dot get key down key code dot space. Alright, so here we are pretty much saying that if we press the space button on our keyboard, then what we want to do? We want to do this. We want to destroy the object. So let's copy it, paste it right here. Alright, so now our update will check every frame if we are pressing the space button, and then it will destroy the game object. Now click on play and 3, 2, 1 space, and it got destroyed. So as soon as I press the space button, it gets destroyed. Now let's learn to use some physics properties in the project. So here I'm going to select the cube, go to add component and go to physics. And from here, I'm going to add a rigid body component. So now it's part of Unity's physics engine. And as you can see, it uses gravity. So it has gravity now. So if I click on play and move the cube upwards, as you can see, it automatically falls down due to gravity. So now we can use this rigid body and do anything we want with Unity's physics engine. And here we're going to create a new public variable. Not public, just rigid body RB, and inside start we're gonna write RB equals get component rigid body. So here we are pretty much getting access to the rigid body that we have attached to our game object. So now we can do anything that we want just by using this RB variable. So in the update, instead of destroying it, let's add a force to our game object. So here we're gonna comment it out, and now we're gonna write whenever we press the space button, we want to say RB dot add force. And what do you want to add force? We want to add force in the upwards direction. So for that, we're going to write vector3 dot up, and how much we want to add force? Let's say 500 amount. So we want to add a force of 500 amount in the upwards direction to our object whenever we press the space button. So let's save this, click on play, and let's press the space button. And as you can see, as soon as I press the space button, our cube jumps because we are adding a force to it. Okay, so now let's add a velocity to our cube to move it in a particular direction. So in this case, we're going to move our cube in the forward direction. To do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this code out, and now here I'm going to, inside the update function, I'm going to simply say rb.velocity. So we are adding a velocity to a rigid body, and we're going to add a velocity in the forward direction. So we're going to say vector3.forward multiplied by, let's say 100f, or let's say 20f. So we are adding a velocity of 20 in the forward direction. So we're going to save the script. So now if I click on play, you will see our cube moves in the forward direction by this amount. And as you can see, it's already rotating. So we don't want it to rotate. So we're going to come to our cube, come to the rigid body, go to the constraints, and click on freeze rotation on the X direction. All right. So now if I click on play, you will see our cube is not rotating anymore. Okay, so now let's learn to detect collisions with other game objects. In order to detect collisions, we have a function void on collision enter. Okay, and now inside this collision variable, we have all the information about the object with which we have collided. So here we're going to check if collision.gameObject.tag equals enemy. So that pretty much means if the object with which you have collided has an enemy tag attached, then we're going to simply destroy our game object. So this function gets called automatically whenever our game object gets collided with any other game object. Then it will check if the game object has an enemy tag attached, then it will destroy our own game object. So let's save this and go back to Unity. So here I'm going to create a new 3D object, sphere, and I'm going to put the sphere upwards. Then I'm going to add a rigid body to it, physics rigid body. So now it has a gravity as well, and it has a sphere collider as well. And now I'm going to go to these tags, click on add tag, click on plus, and add an enemy tag. Okay, then again I'm going to come to the sphere, select the enemy tag from here. So now it should detect collision. So now if I click on play, the sphere falls down, it collides with the cube, and before that our cube moves. So before testing this, we need to comment out this line of code. So now things should be fine. So here we are back inside Unity. I'm going to click on play. The sphere falls down onto the cube, and as you can see, as soon as it falls down, the cube gets destroyed because the cube gets collided with an object which has the enemy tag attached. So our collisions are working. So now instead of destroying the cube, we're going to destroy the sphere whenever it collides with the cube. So let's see how we can do that. So here we are back inside our script. So here we are checking if our object is colliding with an object which has the enemy tag attached. Then we are destroying our own game object. So now we need to modify the code, and instead of this, let's copy this and paste it right here and comment out this line of code. So now instead of writing game object, we're going to write collision.gameObject. Okay, just by writing this simple code instead of our cube, now the sphere will get destroyed. Now let's click on play, and 3, 2, 1, boom. Instead of destroying the cube, this time the sphere gets destroyed because we have written the code in a different way. Okay, so now let's learn to reload or load a new scene or new level in our game. So if you go to File, Build Settings, you can see currently we don't have any scenes in the build. So let's click on Add Open Scenes. So our first scene is in the build. We need to create another new scene to learn this. Now we're going to go to File, New Scene, then press Ctrl S to save this, and we're going to save it inside the Scenes folder, and we're going to name this Level 2. Then click on Save. So now we have a new level. Now we're going to go to the Scenes folder and go back to our level, go back to our game level, and we're going to open our script. So here inside the script, we're going to say if we press the R, then we're going to go back to our next level. Okay, to check that, here we're going to say if input.get key down keycode.r. If we press the R button, then we want to load the next level. Now in order to load the next level, here we need to import a new thing or use a new namespace. We need to write using Unity engine dot scene management. Okay, so just by writing this code, now we will be able to use all the scene management related functions. So now here we need to write scene manager dot load scene, And which scene we want to load? Within quotations, we need to write level 2 and then a semicolon. So now whenever we press the R key, our scene manager will load the level 2 level in our scene. So let's save this and go back to Unity. Now this is the most important step. You need to go to File, Build Settings, and click on Add Open Scenes. We have only one scene here. Let's go to our scenes, drag and drop the level 2 and put it here. So both of these scenes should be here before we can actually load them. So now if I click on play, it goes down, the cube gets destroyed. I'm going to press R, and as soon as I press the R, the new level got loaded. So as you can see, this way we can load a new level just by pressing a key. Now let's go ahead and learn to display a text on the screen. So here I'm going to go to UI and create a new UI text element. I'm going to go to reset its position at the center. Then I'm going to go and change the text to you win. I'm going to go and select the rect selection tool and double click on the text. Then I'm going to go to the 2D mode and make it bigger, something like this. Then I'm going to go and change the font size and make it bigger. And then I'm going to change the text color to white, put it on the center, something like this. Now we have our text. Let's name it to win text. Okay, now let's go back to our script. So here, first of all, we need to create a public variable, public game object win text. And now whenever our sphere collides with the cube, we want to actually show the win text. So whenever our sphere collides with the cube, first of all, we're going to destroy the sphere, and then we're going to say win text dot set active to true. So before starting the game, we're going to deactivate the win text, and when the game starts and when it collides with the game object, we're going to set it to true so that it shows up on the screen. So save this and go back to Unity. In the beginning, we need to set the win text and disable it. Select our cube, go to the script, and as you can see, it is waiting for a reference to the win text. We're going to drag and drop our win text right here. So now it has got access to it. Now we're going to click on play. And as you can see, when it will come and destroy it, our win text will be displayed. So this way we know how to check collisions and how to actually activate or deactivate an object when some event happens. Okay, so the last thing we're going to learn is how to move our cube left and right by pressing the left and right arrow keys. So here we're going to create two new variables, float x input, float z input. And we're going to create another variable, public float speed. Okay, so now inside the update, we're going to say x input equals input dot get axis horizontal, and z input equals input dot get axis vertical. So we get a value from the horizontal axis when we press the left and right arrow keys. We get a value from the vertical axis when we press the up and down arrow keys. Now here we're going to say rb dot add force, and we're going to add force in our three different directions. So in the x direction, we're going to add a force of x input multiply speed. In the y direction, we're not going to add any force, so make 0. In the z, we're going to add a force, so we're going to say z input multiply speed. All right. So now just by writing this simple code, a force will be added in the x direction and in the z direction to our cube game object whenever we press the left and right arrow keys. So now save this, go back to Unity. Here we can select our cube, and as you can see, it is waiting for a speed value. Let's give it a value of 2 for now. Let's go to click on play, and if I press the left arrow key, okay, so first of all, if I press the left arrow key, our cube should move left. So let's go ahead and turn up the value of the speed. I'm going to make it about 100, let's say. Now if I click on play, you will see all these things happen. Now if I click on left, our cube moves to the left and it automatically rotates. So in order to stop that, we're going to go to our constraints and click on freeze rotation on X, Y, and Z, 3 of these. Now if I click on play, if I press left, it moves to the left. If I press right, it moves to the right. So now as you can see, our cube can move to the left and right. And if you want, you can go ahead and adjust the speed value. I'm going to make it 50, let's say. Now if I click on play, it should work fine. So now as you can see, it gives a better player controller setting. So now as you can see, I can move our cube left and right just by pressing the left and right arrow key on our keyboard. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed by learning C# Unity scripting in this short amount of time. So if you want to learn more, you can check out all my courses from the links in the description below and check out my other videos as well. So thank you so much for watching. This is Raja from Charger Games, and I'm going to see you in the next videos.